It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and we have wonderful guests. Well, I have a very interesting guest for this evening, and we're just going to talk about things in general. And my guest is from Arkansas, and I'll have to say that since I moved to Arkansas, I have met some of the friendliest people around that I've ever met in any other state, and that is the honest to God truth. They are very friendly, and it seems very genuine as well. And so that's been an absolute delight. So let me bring on Mitchell Gaither.
Hey, Gail, how's it going?
Welcome, Mitchell.
It's
going great.
I'm glad you made it to the States, so it seems like you liked it so far.
Yes, I do. Not only is it beautiful, but I have to say the people are more friendly than they are in other states that I've lived in.
They are.
I mean, people that you don't know smile at you and say
hi.
Wave
down the road, give you these, they give you these like this, and it's not Illuminati signs. It's just people waving.
Yeah. I'm very impressed, and it makes me feel good, because one of the things that we're going toward as a people and as a country is to live in love, peace, and unity. And it seems like they've already got some of that requirement met.
Oh, yeah. At least here, it's not coming near as fast as we thought it would be. But I do want to, first of all, I want to say to all my people, if you've ever been in the equipment area, lived here, or living here, it was such, a little bit about my story. I was adopted, but I was beyond that. I was a black market baby, and my records were permanently sealed where it's almost impossible to get into. And I always knew that there was something really not fishy, but there was really something about my adoption and maybe my bloodline that was supposed to be hid. But Quitman, Arkansas, I could not have been placed, and I was placed here, and that's no kidding. Wonderful, wonderful people. I would not trade 1 minute of my time here in Quitman, Arkansas for anything, good, bad, and in between. But it's very special people. And I was just telling you in the pre-interview when we was practicing, like one of my friends' dad said, I mean, we're kind of in a twilight zone. I know weird things happen to people all over the world, but we're in a twilight zone, because he said, hey, man, that's only something that happened to somebody from Quitman. And it is a special place. Our class, I still love them to death, all our class. And just the people, if you're here visiting, it's a wonderful place. And I want to tell you, there's some, just the lake area is wonderful, Greers Ferry Lake area. And there's so many things to do, good place to eat. I love Bentley's. 5 places stand out as Bentley's at Greers Ferry, Vaughn and Jeff's at Quitman. There's a new one on the straight stretch, Kennedy straight stretch, each of the Quitman. It's called the Sawmill Cafe. And then Rosebud, you got Grumpy's, and Heber Springs, you got the Smokehouse, wonderful people there. And it's just been wonderful. And I want to shout out to my wonderful adoptive. They're my parents. They're not I don't consider them my adoptive parents. Everett and Marilyn Gaither. They were special people. I just get choked up every time I think about them. My dad, for you people, and many people don't know, Windstream of Verizon started here on Pryor Mountain in Quitman, Arkansas in the late 50s. The original owner was Hugh Wilburn and his son Randy, and my dad was one of the first employees. If you're a Windstream Verizon customer of any kind, my dad, Jesse Everett Gaither, they called him Ed, was one of the pioneers of Windstream Verizon. They dug 9-foot post holes with 9-foot post hole diggers and digging bars in these mountains to set all these poles. My mother, Marilyn Lou Gaither, was wonderful, just wonderful, hardworking woman, and my parents of Cecil and Debbie Gaither of Quitman and Bill and Catherine Lindsay of Painburn were wonderful, and I just couldn't have been pleased.
Okay, you were talking to me earlier about a connection that you have with, if you want to talk about that, you know.
Oh yeah, I was just. Well, first of all, guys, if you don't know my history, as far as the videos, I was
nobody
talking
here
to
will know your history that I know of, at least not from my people. So your explaining it will be really very helpful. And then
well, just as far as the video history, I followed the 17th letter for 5 years, but I'm like a lot of y'all. I've been partially awake with what I call one leg out of the matrix all my life. And, I don't know about you, Gail, in some of the bigger cities, you could find a really good place to research. But, when I was a young man, to find a book with all the something with literature to read up on this stuff, you'd have to drive to Conway or Little Rock. But when the internet come around, it was confirming a lot of the stuff I always thought. And this wonderful woman at Conway, who I coached her daughter, I won't say her name, she kind of helped start waking me up, because after the election in 2020, I kind of start realizing, I was questioning, is that Biden for a year before when they would start doing that hologram stuff. But she turned me on to Q, and honey, if you're listening, thank you. And that woke me up. And then I started doing a lot of literature. I wrote just as a hobby, I wrote, I guess you'd call it a manuscript called The Key in the Storm. And I actually sent it out to everybody through email, at least one person in every state, or actually through mail, or I went on a trip giving it to people, and I put it out around the lake area. So if you read The Key and the Storm, that was something I wrote. And then finally, December 2023, I was talking into doing videos, and they said, man, you'll go all over the world. And sure enough, I've got followers all over the world now. But TikTok, with its platform, I have had 26 channels banned. And 26, that's not the record. One guy I talked to had 73. So, but he does videos. His name is Ken, and several have had 30.
Putting out some truth.
Oh yeah,
That's usually what happens.
Believe me, it's been more than that. I've had videos taken down telling a joke about my wife. They're just looking for me. And I had a bone taken out of my jaw back during the spring, and my cat laid with me, because animals can sense your hurt. And all I put on the video is showed a picture of my cat, said she laid with me all day after surgery, right where it was hurting. Animals can heal, and sat there and hummed. Yeah. And I said, I wish humanity could be that way. And TikTok, give me a strike, for goodness sakes. I mean, you can't really? Make that stuff up. Yeah, but the channels I have left on TikTok are my main channel is Mitchell Gaither 8989. My other one is Mitchell Gaither 719, and my newest channel is called Q-Town Mitchell 64. I am on X at Q-Town Quitman 17, or no, I'm sorry, Q17 Quitman, but it's just repost of what I do on TikTok. And most of my original videos, I've done about 1,400. Most of them are still on YouTube. And this is where you need to go for three of my best videos. It's www.youtube.com at Mitchell Gaither 3952. You have what we're going to talk about a little while. I did 2 videos on
Mitchell. If you send me those links, I can put them in the description of the video for people to be able to see. Or
after we're done, I will. But these videos, we're going to talk a little bit about suicide prevention, because it's really rampant right now, and it was done last summer. And most of the time, you can just put in the search bar on Google, put in Mitchell Gaither, Don't Take Your Life, part 1 and 2, and it'll come. And it was done midsummer last year. And there's one I did mid-January, just about less than a month and a half ago, called My JFK Connection, It was done mid-January 2025. I am the biological grandson of J. William Fulbright, senator from Arkansas, helping JFK with the 17th letter, which goes back to Abraham Lincoln. I was somebody, let's put it this way, somebody, Fulbright was helping JFK, which is the Christ, the Calhoun bloodline, and trying to take down the Khazars, which are everybody that's awake knows that it's the state of Israel, and expose them for expose them for human trafficking. And my biological father, I've not been told by my sources in the military, but they've known it for years, and it was a 60-year secret held at the phone company where my dad was, because the original owner, Hugh Wilburn, helped my adoption along through their Masonic connections with Fulbright. My adoption was sealed with a Masonic handshake, and there's only 2 guys still alive. And the neat thing, one of the guys still alive that knew the secret, they're some of the most honest men ever. They know me. They wouldn't lie. Guess what? His son is high-level military intelligence that does this stuff, and it's all confirmed. I don't need a DNA test. But anyway, my father is of one of the Illuminati families, what's considered Illuminati bloodline. And so it's you can't help who you are. And I do know for a fact that my mother, Fulbright's daughter, my biological mother, as far as I know, she went to her grave thinking I was dead. I do have a brother and sister. I won't say their names. And I was, as far as I know, these people who the video will tell it to explain the 17s, it explain all these people from Area 51 and high level clearance that I've never seen before coming and telling me my favorite cartoon as a kid. One of them knew my daughter hit a deer and we couldn't find it a week before I first met him. You can't make it up. I've got witnesses. And finally, my friend had to tell me this and send me the information. But as far as I know, they will not tell me who it is. I've got a pretty good idea who it is. I don't know if I'll ever be confirmed, but it was a forced deal. It was not consensual with my biological mother because she was married, and it was part of, I was told, a black magic scheme. And if I was told right, I was conceived on Martha's Vineyard, and then I was born in D.C., and I'm one of these people who are thought to be dead but still alive, but I'm not that pauper, at least yet. Ha, 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 LOL. And as I was asked, did the Kennedy family help? And they said probably. So if you're, Fulbright was close. They give me basically a new identity and got me out of D.C. and got me to my parents here in Quitman, Arkansas. You can watch the video, my JFK connection, and it's all real. And I do know it to be true because when my dad would drink, I knew Fulbright had something to do because he would show me his Masonic ring, start crying and say, J. William Fulbright. I did not realize at the time that he was my biological grandfather. So
let me
anyway,
interrupt you for 1 minute there. We have someone, Wide Awake, has put up a comment, said, we have a very large Gaither family in my small town. They own a wonderful bakery here.
What time? Well, that's good. That's great. Gaither is not that popular. Before I started traveling, I thought it's common because there's a lot around here. And then I would go and look in phone books, and there was some in Ardmore, Oklahoma, here and there. And yes, if everybody's wondering about the Gaither family gospel crew, I can't sing worth a flip. I would break the phone if I did. And by the way, I'm not biologically related, but somebody I talked to of the Gaithers did research, and all the Gaithers in the Arkansas area are somehow distantly related to singing Gaithers. But please, guys, don't ask me to sing.
Okay, we won't. All right. Someone else has said, Mitchell, you will see your mom again, just not yet.
Well, yeah, that's what we will, and I will see both of them, and both of them, and so
you don't know for sure who your father is? Is that it?
I've been asked not to say, but no, I have. How can I put it, Gail, without, I'm not under NDA, but let me give you an example. I'm listened to 24 hours a day. I was I can't even say what I was at one point doing. And I am watched. Of course, we all are watched, but I am watched to the point where one of my friends give me a text one day, showed up at 8:17, 17s are all over me, said, Mitchell, I was alerted that you used my name in a text. Please don't do it again. So I have made some very bad people mad, and I've been told to stop talking about them because they really, really don't like me. But all I can say is, I have an idea. If I brought it up with my, you know, what plausible deniability is, and I said, look, if this certain part of the Illuminati, if this guy is my father, that means I am brothers to this high level person, cousins to this high level person. And my grandfather was a very, very bad man. And they usually don't answer, but one time they said, say hello to this certain person. And that was telling me that I was over the target. But every time I've asked, I said, look, these 17s follow me. It can't be with the numbers on my license, my driver's license in my life, and all this other stuff is happening. I said, it's got to be connected to the Kennedys, this and that, and they will not answer. And I said, if you know, please just tell me, and they won't do it. I think they know. But the most thing that will stand out, and I'm going to kind of be a spoiler on that video, but y'all really need to watch, is part of it, is everybody knows JFK Jr.'s plane was reported missing the 17th of July, I believe, 1999. I've got witnesses. I walked into Heber Springs Printing when I was doing my printer, and they said they're religious, but they're starting to believe. They said, oh, my gosh, it's 117, and there's 17, old Mitchell. I said, yeah, Revelation 117. They was printing out area code 417. Well, that's when my driver's license expired. My concealed carry expired 417. So I just said, I need this printed. I'll be back a couple of days. I come back and the owner's eyes was this big. And he said, Mitchell, my wife threw it away. I've got witnesses. Heather's seen it. He said, as soon as you close that door, our printer was off. It turned itself on and printed 717 over 100 times. What's going on? So I'm spiritually connected to this. And it's in the video. I've got witnesses. I've got witnesses of the guy coming out of nowhere at Smokehouse. He was freaking people out. He was talking 12 different languages. And the people in Cleveland County have no idea the reason JFK was here. They have no idea. It would blow their mind if they knew what was here, under the lake, why he was here, who is the 17th letter. And it wasn't to dedicate a dam. My grandfather was standing, you can find pictures of him. My biological grandfather, Fulbright, was standing 3 over to the right of him in the dedication of the Greers Ferry Lake Dam. But if you will do research on Quitman, Cleveland County, do research, how the 17s are connected. Good gosh, the guy that Quitman, General John Anthony Quitman, we was named after, and he died. He was born in 1798, so there's 2 17s, 9 plus 8 is 17, and he died on July 17th, 1958. So you go everywhere around Quitman at 17. We won our first basketball championship ever, 17, 2017. It's crazy.
Okay, yeah, the 17 is a spiritual number and is also Q, but my birth year adds up to 17 too, so I have some kind of connection too.
Well, I told you, the first video I watched of yours, you sent me a sample. It was 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 58 seconds. That's 17. And that's why I knew you was the woman to give me my first ever interview. But I love the show. I love what you're trying to do. And I actually feel free now because on lives on TikTok, I can say the least little thing and get it taken down. And you can't go live for a week. That's why I got frustrated with it.
Oh, yeah. I've experienced that before they took down my YouTube channel, even though I have another one that I can't sync with the regular one because they won't I cannot like or even comment on any YouTube video without them taking it, all of a sudden it'll go to a page and say, we're not putting your channel back up. You violated community standards by telling the truth.
I've got that so many times. I wish I had a dollar for every time that happened. The one thing I do want to get across to Arkansas, America, and the world, especially America, before we get too deep into this, guys, you've got to realize that as long as we stay divided, this is never going to work out. we have got to set aside all our differences. That's what I believe the military, a lot of people are thinking this white hat thing is going south, and I can understand where that's coming from. But if it is, we don't stand a chance. But I truly believe what our military could be waiting for is us come together, because I can say it. I can't even say that. Oh my gosh, I'm able to say it here. You need to read, if you hadn't, in 1899, The Secret Masonic Covenant of John D. Rockefeller. It talks about people like us, illusion we will create so vast that those who see through it will be thought of as insane. It goes on talking about how they're going to, all the plan they're doing now with the medical system, the news media and everything. But in the end, it says we will divide them in all ways, religion, race, and everything. But it said we will create a belief system, ours immortal. But we must not ever let them find out that they are equals with us, that we are one in the Creator, because if they ever do, they will come together and they will vanquish us, and it will raise the fury of the prime Creator to where we will be cast out into infinity forever. So guys, listen, America's problem is not, it is, I don't want to know. The military said they vastly underestimated how brainwashed the American people was, but it goes beyond that. It goes
poisoned. They're poisoned and brainwashed. Okay, they got poison in the food, poison in the water, poison in the air, and brainwashing 24/7 with networks and newspapers and so on and so forth. So television, exactly.
It lies right in your heart, because you know what on the key, the manuscript I wrote out, one thing I wrote out there, and it just come to me while I was writing, because I'm not a writer, and all this stuff it actually come to me after I emailed Trump, the office of the 45th president, say, Mr. Trump, I know you're connected to God, give me something. And then I just started writing it, and I'm the one that writes in all capital letters. I mean, I was writing in neat punctuation and everything else, and it come up. But one thing is, you've got to realize when you start pointing, you know the saying, when you're pointing a finger, this is this is that, there's three pointing back at you. And then, so if you're going on and this is one to blame, this is one to blame, if you want to know who's really to blame, is you need to look no farther in the mirror. And that's including me too. You need to go look in there, and you need to start changing yourself, because ultimately, well, it's the truth. It's a fact. You are the only being in this universe and all the other universes that has total control over you, and it's in your heart. And all this, it concerns me, Trump talking about us being rich and all this silver and gold, because if we don't change our hearts, we're going to be turned right back around and where we are. So you guys, I know this is going to offend you people, belief system, but the age of believing is over with. The age of knowledge is here. Now, you make that choice as a free will given to us by our Creator as a free will. Do you remain asleep, or do you want to wake up and better yourself for your family and just the world in general? Because you're all powerful beings. All of us are created in the image of Almighty God and are the Creator, Jesus, ever what you want to call Him. And the Creator's breath lies inside us, but it's your choice if you want to wake up. But believing, just do your own research. What's the difference between believing and knowledge? And you've just got to understand to where all this we're fighting over, the material possessions, whether I'm right, wrong, our football teams, red, black, white, black, everything, belief systems and everything. It amounts to nothing, just like my top source said. It amounts to nothing. All this, and he has seen some bad stuff. These people in the military that do this stuff, they've seen death, everything else. They realize all this we're fighting over, all this money and everything means nothing. In the end, all that matters is love, kindness, and generosity. It's the only thing you can take with you into eternity, and the only thing that transcends time and space. Even Hollywood and movies shows you, songs show you, that's all that's going to matter. What did you do for your sister and brother? Not just the ones that think like you, look like you, and everything else. That is everybody. Christ is inside us all. And the thing is I ask people, okay, even though it's probably not put in like I should have, in order I should have, what I've just told you is the truth. It's not the constant reassurance of what you believe is the truth. You don't need to believe me or anybody outside yourself. God never left. Christ never left. It said in the Bible, I will never leave you or forsake you. I will stick to you closer than a brother. That's not out here. That's not 1 inch outside yourself. You need no mediator. You need to go inside yourself and look for the answer. But what I am telling you, I'm handing you the keys to freedom right here, right here. And I'm like most other truthers. I don't care what you do to me, think about me, say about me. That don't bother me at all. What bothers me is knowing the truth and not having the courage to speak it while my friends, family, and the country I love and the people of the world I love are in a prison they don't even know they're in because it's a mental prison. We've been locked in a mental prison. So what I'm giving you is the key to that prison. So before you make that choice, my question to everybody, and it's in my manuscript and everything else, before you make that choice, you've got free will to do that. But do you want to be right or do you want to be reconciled? Do you want to throw all the stuff away, all this stuff we're arguing about, and you want to take that key and lock yourself, your prison for yourself? But once, like, if you've got a family that is all locked in that prison and you do your own research and do what me or some of the other white people are asking you to do, then they're going to see you change, and they're going to see you change for the better, to be a better person, a more open-minded person, and they'll get better.
Yeah, let me interject here. Teresa put up an important post. It says, goes from hope to faith to trust to know in belie versus knowing.
Yeah.
Or belief versus knowing. And that's really, really true. And now then the other important aspect is intention is a key.
Yeah. So yeah, and attention is the key. And see, that's another thing we've been lied to. I don't know about you in Arizona, but we heard it all the time in the South. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. That I'm sorry, that's not true. You know, the Creator looks at that looks at that, and that's just like most of the good Christian people and the religious people giving all this money. They don't realize this is about money. It's a religious industrial complex set up by the Vatican, but they don't. But they're hard. What they give, it don't matter where that money goes, and it don't.
I haven't heard that one before, Mitchell. The religious industrial complex. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, it's said all the time. But that money don't go to where you think it goes to. But it don't matter. The Creator knows your heart. I mean, you're just not knowing. And by the way, when you're called ignorant, guys, we are all ignorant. The smartest one of us knows 1/1,000,000th of 1% of everything. So we are all ignorant in a way. Ignorant. I'm gonna give you a good laugh, but since I'm on this platform, I can say it. And this is one video I can't believe wasn't taken down on TikTok, but my channel is, so you can't go to it. But we are all ignorant away. Ignorant doesn't mean dumb, stupid, or anything like that. What do you do when you don't want to hear somebody or deal with a situation? You ignore it. That's what ignorant means. That means if one of my dogs right here pooped in the floor, I would see that poop right there, but I'd be like, man, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to mess that. I know it's there. I know it's the truth, and I know I need to do something about it, but I don't want to ignore it. Just hope my wife and daughter wakes in and takes it, cleans it up. That's what ignorant is. And too many people in this world have chose to do the what is it with the three monkeys, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And there's coming a time that we can't ignore this. I don't know how long the military is going to extend this out before they dump the crimes against the children. But that's one thing that everyone will be held accountable for by the Creator. Is not knowing is not going to be excused because it's out there. And it's just that way. But I know, it's a choice. It's a choice, and there's just so many things that we could be doing. I just wish that everyone would get out of the truth. Go ahead.
The wide awake. I just want to say, sometimes I put things up and I want to, say it before it something else comes up. But Wide Awake was saying, we take nothing with us. I hope I leave love and good memories to those who knew me. You don't have, when you go out, you don't go with a U-Haul. So the only thing you take is your consciousness and the deeds, good or bad. And so That's very important to know that. And right now, we all came here to break the chains of mental slavery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did. We did. And so many people who take their lives are awake people. Now, I'm not saying that there's so many. I just did a yard job to help a lady clean up, and her ex-Navy husband took his own life, and it was sad. And a lot of people I've got contact a lot of people, a lot of these people who there's friends and family have really got into this Q stuff, and they have took their own lives, which is sad. But what we got to remember is, I myself, speaking for myself, I always felt upside down this world, but the more I learn, all of us guys that are awake are actually right side up, living in an upside down world. And in my videos, Don't Take Your Life, part 1 and 2, I stress that, and I tell them my story. Guys, I owned 210 acres of land, and that was in my family 80 years back, 2015. I was worth altogether over $1 million. I was basically retired. I was getting ready to travel. I'd done traveling all over the United States, and I had a horrific head and neck injury. Most people, my wife was supposed to be at the game. Nobody there. I was a city league basketball player, and I'll say I was pretty good for 50 years old. I played 25 years for a team. They was guys on the team that wasn't even born the years I started with the team. I wouldn't never know Michael Jordan, but I enjoyed it. And I had a horrific head injury in a basketball game that led to, I had more head injuries after that you can't make up, more health problems. But it knocked me out, and it knocked my second vertebrae into my brain stem. It's just, they said it was, everybody there could, everybody in the world, they said, would have known me by now.
Quite fine now.
Oh, I went through a living hell. I went through 6 years of therapy. There was times, Gail, I think I told you when we first talked, that I went 3 or 4 years where sometimes I'd go blank and I'd be sitting in equipment and not know where I was. And that's what caused me to lose my farm. I did some really stupid stuff. Let fear, false evidence appearing real, overcome me. In 2017, we had money, and I talked my wife into selling it and doing some investments in house and land flipping, and we lost that in 2 years. And until we recently sold our land a couple of weeks ago, 6 acres, we had a little bit left. We were dead broke for 2 years, but it was a absolute living nightmare. I never took my life over it, but the head injury, it was bad enough. I was playing against some former college basketball players. They said it was the worst fall in human history. Everybody there that watched it, and they said my wife's supposed to be there, film the game. She don't like sports and didn't show up, but they said, man, if somebody filmed that, you'd have went viral. You'd been on ESPN, top 10 ESPN falls of all time. And I guess it's a good thing maybe that I didn't go through that, but it set my life just really on the downside, because the first 50 years of my life was one of the best lives any human being has ever lived. And I'm not bragging. I wasn't rich. And this last 10 years, I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. And it's been better. And it led me to this, to meet great people like you and your audience. But it led me through a storm. It did put a perspective on material things. And I was never material as far as driving the best thing and everything else. I like money, but I still drove old vehicles. Right now, our 4 trucks have 1.8 million miles between the 4 of them. No kidding, 1.8 million miles. One has 600,000, the other 500,000.
Yeah. I want to throw this other comment out there, and sorry to interrupt, but because you'll like this one, because we've talked a little bit about this. You have to lose religion to find God.
Yeah. You have to. Religion, religare, to tie back, to hold down, to bind, to hold back, to hinder in Spanish and Latin. You have a worship legion in that. And I did some videos that got taken down on the channel, not the videos, the channel, and I did it in my pamphlet. But if y'all guys, I called them the flea and the elephant. Have you ever noticed over in those countries, a big old 1,000-pound elephant, they'll just have a little stake in the ground, and that's what religion does. And they'll have a little, it being held by a little chain with a stake in the ground. And what I was told they do is they start out as a little baby, putting that in where those babies can't pull that up. And the elephant will try and try, and then it will give up. Yeah, it will give up, and it will tell itself it can't do it. Then
we lost you. Okay, reconnected. So
have you got me now?
And I want to. Yeah, I got you now. And there's another comment, and this is a good
Okay.
comment. Religion isn't necessary. It's a construct of man. God is within us all. It is up to us to go within to connect with God, or I
That's
call him
perfect.
source now because, yeah, I call it source.
Yeah. That's what most
For
people,
various reasons.
that's most people do. But that's what religion does. They tie that little elephant down, and when it gets big enough, it rip it out. It's told itself so many times it can't do it, and that's the way it was meant to be. It can't do it, and that's what we've been done. And it's a scientific experiment you can research, that they took fleas and they put them in a jar and left them 24 hours. And where the fleas, the farthest they could jump is that jar. After they took them fleas out, they could never jump higher than the height of that jar or their offspring. So that's what they've done to us. They've made the matrix is real. My military contacts, everybody knows that's awake, knows it's real. It's predictive programming. And that's what we got to get out of. And that's what's so frustrating, is because I talk to people. I don't believe there's more than 10% of people awake in America. And it's kind of like this, and I'm fixing to offend people, but if it will help somebody who's not awake, it's like this. All right, we've got a heart problem. It goes beyond. It's like, well, me and my, as long as mine are fine, that's the way people think. They really don't care
Yep.
anything about other people. It seems like the willful blindness is like I've never seen it. Yeah, the passion
Compassion is
and
missing.
and the passion, but it sums it up. These bumper stickers I made. I had a Trump bumper sticker that went like wildfire. I allowed them. I just give them away. But if you've got a bumper sticker anywhere in the country that's got Trump by a bulldozer pointing at the actor Biden saying, if you think this guy is president, your head's so far up your ass, a bulldozer can't pull it out. And that's the problem with America. And it's just willful blindness, and they don't want to wake up. They're comfortable. They don't want to face the truth. And I feel sad for it, but it seems like where we go one, where we go all, that is been used and used and used. And it's kind of like you've seen crab shows where they don't put a top on the crab bucket, and the guy said, watches this. And when the smart crab tries to get out, everybody else pulls him back down to their demise. And that's what the white people are feeling like. And we just feel like, I can speak for, I used to get 1,000 messages a day on my phone from people all over the world. My phone nearly melted a few times. I had to turn it off. And now people are so wore out. I get my 20 or 30 comments a day. And a lot
exactly.
But that's a lot of
it. Out.
Yeah. A lot of that's because my channel's got banned. I'd probably have 100,000 followers right now. But yeah, we're worn out. And it seems like, I raise rabbit dogs. And I use this analogy. It seems like the military cares more about the dogs that won't hunt than the dogs that do. And I don't want nobody hurt from this, but they've lost people. I've talked to people that have followed this stuff 15, 16 years, and they said, I'm done. I'll be honest with you. If President Trump, if you're listening, or we know it's not Trump, and I know who it is, but nobody believed me. But anyway, JFK Sr., if you're listening, this has went too far, and you're losing your anons. You're losing and what we feel like is like we're on a real battlefield, and you're taking our ammo, our guns, our food and water, and giving it to the enemy. And you keep pulling the rug. Like one guy said, he said they was making fun of 107. His wife was sitting there just showing her feet. And this was 2 years ago, and they was fed up with it. And he said, every time we make headway, we start waking our family up and everything else, and you march these clones and actors out. What are you doing? And that was 4 years ago. And people in the military I talked to, I've got a friend high level, and he told me 2 years ago, oh, it's going to end. And then when it didn't, he said, look, my source is a lot higher than me. Said, this is 2 years ago. Said the group at top has took this way too far and beyond the realm of where they ever thought it was go. And now we're past, we've got the Trump character back in, and they're not helping. What made me mad, they're not helping the veterans. If they wanted to leave us high and dry, which I don't think they should have, I thought everything like everybody else would be shut down and the truth start coming out the 21st. But I think they should at least help the veterans. They're hurting bad. And veterans, if you're listening, look, you're a true kings and queens, and you should be treated as such. I say that a lot on my videos. There's words not to describe you men and women that have served this country, and I thank you. and I am hard on the law enforcement officers and the judicial system, but a lot of y'all, most of y'all, or a percentage of y'all don't know what's going on. Your intentions are good, and it's just the system we've been brought up in. Go ahead.
Some people don't want to face the truth about the system that we've been brought up
Yeah.
in, and that's
Yeah.
part of the problem. And Teresa has a good comment here again.
Okay.
Letting go of the false matrix programming and systems as it's dismantling is paramount. Flow with the process. Walk through this, the fires. It has to collapse. It's like a wound. You have to clean it before the healing can actually take place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the cleanup is what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's true. You brought up a good point. The art of war, Sun Tzu art of war in 5D chess. Most of us have no understanding of that, but I do know you're supposed to make your look weak when you're strong and wait for the enemy to destroy yourself. But a lot of good people they're waiting on the med beds. I had a follower that he stopped calling, and he was really following this a lot. And I called, and oh gosh, I got that answer. This is I won't say his name. This is so-and-so's phone. Well, every time I've got that before, they've either passed away or really sick, and he had collapsed and was in a ventilator, and they won't answer. So I don't know if he's passed away, but there's some more collateral damage. And I believe you brought it up. This art of war is justifying lying to the American people, which I don't believe is right. I believe the masks need to come off. You've been doing it 60 years, Mr. Senior. And I think y'all know what I'm getting at, and it's time to come off. But I think they took it too far. And when everybody found out that everybody feel like we've been played, whether they had to do it this way or not, and people ain't going to be able to handle it. So I honestly don't know if and when the mask will ever come off, but they're justifying lying to the American people and the collateral damage and the people who are being unalived over this, the VAAX, you know what I'm talking about, and everything else. And it's like the movie. I know y'all, I love Christopher Walken movies. Yeah, I know what he probably is and everything else, but he did a movie called The Suicide Kings. And that's why I brought it up on my videos. It basically, I'll try to get this through real quick. If you hadn't watched the movie, this boy and his girlfriend faked her kidnapping and convinced his friends to help him kidnap a monster out of him. Well, they faked it, and the only thing that saved him, Christopher Walken, was a good enough guy to recognize his friends had been lied to, and he respected their loyalty, and it almost got him killed, but he had his hitman just shoot one of them in the leg at the end, and he realized they did give him the $1 million, and he realized what was going on, and he let those guys live. Well, in the end, he found them, and he caught the boy and the girl with his hitman putting on the silencer. If y'all watch that movie, you knew what was fixing to happen, and they give him the briefcase, shaking. Well, sir, most of it's there, and he grabbed his hitman like, wait, and he said, turned around, and he said, you never lie to your friends. And you know what happened after that? They left this earth. You don't mess with a mobster. So I use that example is you don't lie to your friends and you don't lie to your countrymen. I know this is deep, Gail, but it's time. The white hats are listening to everything I say. I'm watched 24/7. They know how frustrated I am, and everybody else is. And there's no justifying going to 2028 with this. I told everybody that everybody's expecting a stock market crash today. I said, how many times we had the rug pulled out from under us, made us look like fools. I told everybody Tuesday, save my video, get with me Friday night, the stock market will go up, and it went up again today. And if you look, guys, if you follow the queue, unless they change the plans, it's event driven, and it's been 2.5 years since Queen died. The next one on the board's the Pope. Yes, guys, I know they're actors. The real ones are gone, but they've got to die publicly. He's got to go. Then the Catholics got to go through all their mourning and everything else. How long is that going to take? Then if you put 2 years between him and the king, then you got another 2 years. And then if you how long you space the market crash and everything else between the World War III scenario, are we talking 2027 to 2030? And Elvis is part of this. I'm not supposed to say a lot about Elvis. There was 4 Elvises. Bob Joyce is one of them, the youngest brother. He's not, but he played Elvis. I won't get into that. 5601 Salt Creek Road at Benton, but he is part of this, and they misspelled his name on the gravestone, so when he come back out, he wouldn't get in trouble for fraud. And his dad did not cash his insurance in, his life insurance, and he sealed the record till 2027. So if he's part of Q, they've been teasing everybody with all the Elvis music, is Elvis Trump and everything else. And you noticed after the inauguration, it went away. So if he's part of it and him and Michael Jackson and everybody else don't come out until then, so we've got 2027. And I just don't think, I've talked to a lot of ex-military. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to throw in there that the Q posts and so on are not the original Q, because Trump said before he went in that they wouldn't be telling the enemy what they're doing anymore. So I don't know that. Go ahead.
That's true. It's been infiltrated, and that's what's scary. They have, that might not be the real post, so we have no idea, because one meme come up on TikTok. Hey, if we'd told you guys how long this was lasting, this is just a few months ago, would you have lasted this long? Well, heck no. So I'm like, we're still in this with no end in sight. And so if they told us this was going to, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. This is going to be another year. Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 10? I mean, Trump said in 2018 on Fox, this may take till 2022, 2024. We might have to go to 2026. It might take 8 years, 10 years, 14 years, 17 years. And I was hoping he would say that. Yeah, he said that's actually on Fox.
You know what? The more people that go within and work on themselves and ignore some of this stuff going on around them, and the solar flash is going to happen, and because that will help make it happen if you do that. And once that does, that's going to eliminate a lot of the trouble that we have with clones, masks, anything fake.
I'm all for it, honey. I'm all for it. I want to tell you something that oh, this is gonna make you laugh, but it actually happened. My friend who has been at Area 51, seen the real Men in Black. They're stationed they're in Section K in Fort Belfour, Virginia. They're real. 90% of the movie was real. He's been in Hollywood, high level, all over the world. He said, I said, people think I'm weird, dude. And he's been, he knew Sean Hannity for a long time, Geraldo's cameraman. He's interviewed princes, everything else. And he said, well, Mitch, I said, just go ahead and say it. I'm a weirdo. I don't care what you think. No, he said, I've interviewed stars, people all over the world, and all I can say is you got one of the strongest wills of anyone I ever seen, and you're very unique. But he said, you can just see things that most people can't. You can hear things. Well, I was watching in 2023 when everybody's in shock that we were still going, and I happened to turn on the TV. Well, I don't know, and we was at the Laura Ingraham show. There's a lady taking her place. She was talking about Peter Ducey green screening the White House. By the way, if you're not awake, guys, Washington, D.C. is the city of Washington now. The corporation's gone. The building's been closed 5 years. And she said, Peter, are they going to pass the spending bill? And he goes, it just passed. And she turns around to the camera and she goes, huh. Well, I guess the military generals have decided to take this all the way through 2026. Oh, I meant the senators, and I absolutely could have made full sentences, cuss words. I called my friend from Fox News, and I said, did I hear that right? He said, Mitchell, calm down. I said, did I hear that right? And he said, yes. He said, as I said, you can see things people don't want to see. He said, yes. I said, what are they going to do? Keep cloning these people, put them back in D.C. after the 24 election, make us look even dumber, which they hadn't done that. And I said, and we're going to 2026. He said, you ain't wrong. But he said, listen, there ain't a daggum thing me or you or anybody else can do about it. And that's what actually happened. And here we are still going through that. But I have heard a lot about the solar flash. I hope it comes tomorrow, babe.
Yeah, well, I'm according to someone that I know that reads energy, who I'm going to have on the show too, again, White Fox, he's feeling the energies and really believe that, based on the way he's feeling and what he's seen, that it probably will happen before the end of 2025. So I hope that's correct. And I just heard that again on another channel by the Arcturian Council. And I wanted to mention here, Teresa is saying Father Teresa, and they were talking in the chat, I didn't put it all up, about Anthony Father's Anthony Fauci's father was Mother Teresa, as crazy as that sounds.
Well,
But
no,
anyway.
it's not crazy. Let me go ahead. Yeah, if you look at them,
I mean, it's
it's
true.
definitely a man. They've
Yeah.
got to be related, but I'll give you one better. If you don't know it,
Go for it.
these people are, and if anybody out there has heard this and confirm it, but this is what, of my research and what I've heard, and from when I ask my sources and just get a blank, this is very possible for sure. The Communist Manifesto, the two things it's mainly based on is tell a lie long enough and people believe it. That's Project Mockingbird, Operation Project Paperclip that started in the 1950s, and accuse others of what you're doing. So don't be surprised. I'm just saying, I'm not confirming this. Don't be surprised if our little COVID was started. Well, everybody knows Fauci had something to do with it. Underground at the University of Duke in North Carolina. It was taken over to the Chinese people to accuse them to do it, spread over there and come back over there. You didn't hear it from me, wink, wink. So don't be surprised if that eventually comes out.
Yeah, I've heard that too. So,
okay, well, hey, thanks for confirming it.
It's out there. Yeah,
They're all in on it.
Yeah, they are. Teresa, another thing, she's very, she sees things. I get Trump vessel is being utilized by Orion Council of Light.
And that's good. Orion's count. I don't know much about the ascension stuff. Is the Orion supposed to be good?
The Council of Light. Well, it depends what part of Orion, because we have, bad ones from. There's the whole place is full of good and bad, good and bad, good and bad. Because I think there's the Draco is also in that, not in the Council of Light, but they're in that area that's known as Orion.
Yeah.
And if
you know what just happened?
Put it in the chat.
You know just what happened. All my friends and family who are watching this, who I love dearly, all of them. We just lost them when we started talking about this. Now some of the weight my followers ain't. They're like, oh yeah, Mitchell, tell it right. And but I hope they're good, because so many people, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're all in on it, and I don't want to think that. Yeah, it's possible the military generals, the white hats, the Trump character could be all in on, let's say this is Agenda 2030. Let's say that we don't know what happened 150 years ago, the reset. Maybe a Trump character come along and got everybody to trust in him. And it's possible. Maybe they decided instead of put Hillary in and start a nuclear war and have to hide out underground for 100 years. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, HRC, you can't be the president, and you can CGI anything until somebody shows a real body and somebody they can trust, say they have been down the YMCA. By the way, if you don't know, the reason Trump plays YMCA is because Gitmo started out as military YMCA. Till it is confirmed to us that they have actually been taken out. We don't know what these people do. They have got thousands of uncharted islands, the real Joe Biden, the real Hillary. They could be doing their thing there, laughing at us.
I've seen Hillary Clinton's body on a gurney.
Yeah,
dead.
I have too. Okay. But don't you agree it could be CGI?
It could be, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, I got the feeling.
I've seen all of the. I look at all the different replacements that she's had. Some are taller, some are shorter, some are thinner, some are younger.
Teresa Barnwell.
It's yeah.
Teresa Barnwell, 5'1". Well, what about Trump going from 5'10" to 6'3"?
No, we're not. I mean, they're all actors. It seems like. I mean, wow. And well, he's
everybody knows.
Protected.
Everybody knows JD Vance, real JD Vance, 5'7". That guy is that's playing him's an inch taller than me. He's 6'1".
Yeah. That's another one.
And look at Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, now that I can say this, Pam Bondi is a child trafficker. You guys in Florida, I've had some guys in Florida mess with me, but I knew that 4 years ago. She helped people in the Finders Club. That is a pedophile group with her attorney general's office. And she helped the Clinton Foundation funnel the cats and dogs from Haiti on up to Springfield and other people, other places. And if you white people don't know what Trump meant by eating the cats and dogs, that was Haitian young ones. It was not animals. And if you will look, these people are sick. They're inverted. And if you go back, I was just looking at pictures of her before this interview. And if you go look at the real Pam Bondi and the one now, the height is different and everything else, but the bone structure, but she don't have an overbite. Everything's different. And if you'll zoom in on the eyes, you can see the skin of the actor underneath that. But Pam Bondi was born a biological male. Most of them was. And even some of my friends said, I got to look at that. She's got the job. The original one's got the jawbone of a male, but she used her attorney general's office. All of them is. I mean, all the governors are, as far as I've been told, and even the women governors might not be women. Yep. State of Arkansas, I'll be shocked. But they are part of the club. They might be one or two of them, but if you look at them close. Go look at Sarah Huckabee and Kristi Noem, and go look at Gavin Newsom and everything else, and their teeth, their eyes, and everything. All of them look different, and they've got a weird religion to where they have to invert their firstborn or unalive them. I'm used to being TikTok, can't say killed. And they do more than that. If you'll look at all these religious leaders and really look at the females in their family, these political, and really hoping to have an open mind. But if you don't have an open mind, a mind's useless. Mind's like a parachute. It's useless if it ain't open. You're not going to be able to get through this. And I don't know. I'm at the point where if this goes to the end of the year, I might be able to hang, but as far as falling it, I've had to back away. March 4th was it for me. When he said he was coming in hot and going to do this, going to do that, the few people that I knew that was following Q hard, they text messaged me and they said, all he said was it going to be a golden age. He said he didn't do nothing but the same thing that he always has. And I said, I told you nothing was going to happen, because my top sources will let me know to get ready. And I just knew it wasn't going to happen. So I decided to back off then. I do other videos. I do hunting, fishing, nature, tell funny stories, and I'm going to have to focus more on that. But I'm glad you come along, Gail, because it'll give me, a bigger audience to talk to. And it gives me a platform. I feel so free now that I can actually say something. This would have been taken down on TikTok 5 minutes into the interview.
We got a great audience here that always brings up good comments, and I want to read two of them. Wide Awake again is saying they carry the theatrical way too far, to the point people don't believe in the allies, etc. anymore. I've lost confidence in white hats, etc. for not seeing a thing good still not happen for the people. A lot of people feel that way. And they're losing people by, they need to do something, is what it really boils down to. But again, you don't need to get involved in it. You don't need to let it affect your emotions the way some people normally do. Just observe, let it, it's going to collapse. And I do believe that. But anyway, Teresa says, what I do know is nothing is as it appears. And on a need-to-know basis, I only get what I need to know, usually in the nick of time, and always go for my inner gnosis or knowing.
We're going to have to start thinking more along that lines to keep our sanity.
Yep.
Yeah, but they've used, in case you don't know and you're not awake, or a lot of white people don't know, they've used 200,000 actors. Now, again, this is pretty raw. What I'm saying. Yeah, they've used 200,000 actors, 1,000 directors. This has been, this is why it's scripted. Our whole life, Shakespeare said, if you'll do research on this, all my friends, life is a stage and all we are is acting and play. And he also said most of the women on stage are men. We've been in a drag show all our life. And
Victoria's Secret was, they were all men.
Yeah, they're all men. And even Steven Seagal said in Out for Justice, he was talking to somebody, and he said, oh, all we are is just puppets on the string, and our masters are insane. And I'm starting to believe that, because they've scripted this stuff out for decades. I think it's the Vatican doing it. But speaking of script, I don't want to get everybody upset. I'm just telling you, I took some military guys hunting, and they're not at the top in the know, but they know. And I overheard them talking, and I wanted to say I was wrong, but I heard them talking about the script of the 2026 midterms and who was going to take Trump's place in 2028. And I was sitting there about boiling, and I'm like, surely not. And they was talking like it's going to be the character playing Don Jr. or hopefully his daughter. But I don't believe that the white people are going to let this happen, and militia and ex-military are about to lose their minds. But I'm tired of hearing this first big arrest for the last 4 years. People are tired of it. And we talked about on the getting ready
And
for
we
this
still
interview.
haven't seen it.
And we still haven't seen it. And
still haven't seen it.
right now, I don't think we ever will. And if we do, it's going to
I
be
hope that's
a
not
long.
right.
I'm not being negative, but Gail, I'm just being honest. But I've noticed what you're talking about. People don't care. It's just the normies too. I heard normies talk, and they said we don't want to hear about President Trump no more. I just had a friend being text messaged me. He was all about Trump. He said, "Oh man, and you and this Q stuff," and then he's been like, "The stock market's going down. When's America going to be good again? Get with me when it's good again." And I've seen people in the restaurants where they're normally glued to that Tell A Live vision. And every time Trump comes up, they're just like talking, which might be a good thing. Maybe they're trying to get it, but they're not even paying attention to the fake news, which in a way is good. But now that they are showing a lot of the truth slowly on fake news, now that you got the normies not even watching that, and people are tired. It's boy cried wolf, crap or get off the pot. And I think they're insane doing this. I think they're having fun.
Yeah, you know what Wide Awake said? She said, people need to start yanking the masks off.
Yeah. Hey, here's the saying. What everybody, God, I hope there's no more Trump rallies. If anybody goes to any more Trump rallies, you deserve what you get. But if they do, you need to either start saying, going off and everybody getting together, take the mask off, or my saying when I first started doing videos, and I've got away from it. But here's my old saying. And I sent it to Trump several times, thought it's 45th president. You're not going to wake no more people up. Grip it, rip it. What did I say? Grip it, rip it, jerk a knot in everybody's tail. That's the old South saying my dad used to say, drop a truth bomb from hell, tell everybody that Santa Claus isn't real, make everybody, as you don't hear it in Arizona, but the old South saying, make everybody whomper jawed, and let's get this over with. And ever who makes it, ever who don't. So that's what everybody needs to start writing President Trump, the office 45th president. Grip it, rip it, jerk a knot in our tail, and get this crap over with. Because I'm telling you, they are doing great damage. And my top source said when this first started, he said, even though a lot of the 17th letter is true, this is going to cause tremendous amount of irreversible psychological and emotional damage to good Americans, especially people who are in bad health, expecting this medical stuff and the reset, and who are broke. And they did it knowing this would go in, and they are still continuing to do this. And they are causing, everybody's heard the story. They wanted to take a coup 2014, which I wish they had take them out with the military. And they said, no, let's do it this way. It's going to cause too much damage, because there's still mental and psychological damage from the Civil War. And that's true. But if you look, I could be wrong, but I think between the vax, everybody that's died during that time, and everything that's happened, it's just been as bad, and it's psychological damage. If this is never made right, and the military don't dump out the crimes against children, I've talked to all the Q followers, told me they'll never get over it. They'll never trust these people. They'll never forgive or forget. And I'm one of them. I will not enough money in the world. I won't, hey, don't send me a $50,000 dose check. You show the crimes against those children. Every time I see a little child, I absolutely break down on the things I've seen they've been doing to Epstein Island. I've seen that stuff in my own eyes. It's broke down hardened Marines, and everybody that's awake knows the story about that. But it is a slap in the face to these children. It is a slap in the face to their parents and family that has went through that, and it's a slap in the face to our great young men and women in the military that has lost their lives in these tunnels and above ground during no telling how long this has went on. You are disrespecting them and their family. America deserves the truth. And if you want to keep your blinders on, that is your choice. But this is biblical. And so, you've been given free will. So you want to stay in your illusion. We don't. But I don't know how the people in the military that has known this for 60, 70 years, a lot of them went to their grave knowing how bad it was. They protect their lives and never said nothing about it. So guys, again, thank you. And I don't know what else to say. I'm hoping people will comment and say, do you feel the way I do? Are you feeling the frustrations? And from what I'm getting from you.
Let me put up a few more comments,
okay,
because people definitely are. But this one I already put up, so I wanted to read it. Teresa is very enlightened, shall we say. Orion Council of Light is of the optimal source, true essence. I know, as my team and I came originally from Lyra. And that is very ancient. So that's very, thank you for that, Teresa. Okay, now there was a couple.
If you would ask Teresa if she could get with me on TikTok and tell me more of my stories, because they have said that I'm a powerful being from the Palladian Council that volunteered to be here, and I cannot get over that, because how could somebody, they say it's different, but these military guys coming to me telling me they're trying to wake me up because I'm like John Connor, the Terminator, and I'm hard-headed and can't wake up. They said I'm powerful and I volunteered to be here and my memory's wiped. So if she could be nice enough to get to one of my TikTok channels, or maybe you give her my email and explain to me why am I in such a flawed body.
Yeah. So if she chooses to do that, she's hearing you right now. So
okay. All right. Well, yeah, she can contact you and you can give her my email.
Okay. Well, okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your other comments.
Well, one comment was from Wide Awake that they even look like the one on stage. That's one thing. There were some other ones. All is a movie. Can't wait to see the mask come off. I saw a picture of Obama after he got the firing squad 4 years ago. Can't find that video now. Yeah, he did get the firings. He also, I mean, he had a bunch of clones too. So some of them were killed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa's also saying Pam Bondi doesn't look the same she looks. She looks a lot younger.
Yep.
Somebody is saying you're so Republican. You know what? Republican, Democrat. What are they always doing? They're always dividing us. They're always dividing us. It's like you have to somehow get away from that division process.
Oh, believe me, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican at all. I just want America to come together.
Like, I don't want any of those labels, quite frankly.
No, no, we all won.
I look at it as, if I am voting, and we know our voting doesn't matter because that was selection, it wasn't election. Our vote doesn't count. Anyway,
you need to watch Jordan Maxwell. Elections come from the god Osiris, that's selection. The L in Israel, and it's electricity, and it's energy harvesting, just like sports is. So it's energy harvesting, and all the elections have been set up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one from Wide Awake. I've turned my back on all of it. I don't allow myself to dwell in any of it. I stay humble in my peace and stay in balance. And she also said earlier, in silence is when you get answers. And that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one too. Pull the Band-Aid off already. John.
Yeah.
We're ready. The people are ready to hear the truth. And that's why they keep saying that. They want more people to wake up. Well, wake them up with the truth, for God's sakes.
Yeah. I seen this meme on TikTok. It had, it was all Photoshop, but it had Trump at a schoolroom and this little girl getting in his face like this, and he's like this. And she said, my mom said, if she don't see her, sure shit.
Oh, you broke up a little bit. I didn't hear. That's unfortunate, but you broke up on that.
That little girl, a little girl looking at Trump and Trump like that, and she's pointing her fingers. My mom said,
Are you frozen? Oh no, you. They don't like what you're saying. Apparently, I think we're getting some interference there.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. What happens is there's like a pinging sound when you say something, and it distorts it. Okay.
It could be with this. I'm surprised. This, can you still hear me?
Yeah, the number. Yeah. Okay. The number one thing is save the children, and we must never forget that.
Yeah.
And we're saying wide awake is Lyran, and I believe I'm part Lyran myself, in
Yeah.
part. I think I'm more than one.
This is the point
Okay.
where all the normies know has turned us off.
Teresa says she will email utilize intuitive kinesiology. I didn't say that right, but I'm not going to tackle it again. To access factors hidden from awareness, to unblock the blocks and unlock the locks, to bring it into awareness. Okay.
You're talking about, is that the lady that talked about that
That's
I asked?
Yeah.
Well, Teresa, thank you. And if you watch my video, JFK Connections, you can see how they place me here and with the 17s, and you could probably break it down from there.
When they don't like what you're saying, we get interference. That's funny.
Well, if you get interference here, the reason JFK, one of the reasons JFK took appearance for his parent assassination, we're basically in that area, the real East West, I believe Israel, I don't know the United States was. But the reason it was Hebrew Springs, Arkansas, is it's Hebrew Springs.
Wow, slow down. You're talking too fast. Can you talk slower? Talk slower. You're talking too fast, and it's breaking it up yet beside.
Okay.
So if you talk a little slower, we might be able to understand you. And it's not you. It's the sound interference comes in.
Okay, that's why the reason JFK Sr. was in Heber Springs, Arkansas, his last public appearance, was because Heber Springs got its name from Hebrew Springs. Heber Springs and Cleveland County were the only county out of 3,300 counties mentioned by Mike Lindell in a national interview in early 2022. They were down here fixing the voting machines. You go on from there, there's a lot of secret stuff here. There's a lot of secret stuff in Arkansas, the crystalline vortex planted by the Lannians. They're the purple stone. But we are the true Israel. I mean, actually, this area to the southwest United States is Egypt. And all the white people know Israel's the Northwest, I believe. New York is Babylon. But I have said something to my people in the know and my contacts, and I said, this is Hebrew Springs, the reason that Cleveland County is so important in all the 17s. You go through here, look at all the mile markers, the history, and none would comment except one. He said, interesting, that's plausible deniability. It's you're over the target, and there's a lot more here. I'll go ahead and tell you this is what these people that have come about me, it's not coming from me. They said the largest portal to lost souls in the world is under Greer's Ferry Lake. It's a spiritual battle, and Cleveland County's right in the middle of it. And everybody knows that the state of Israel was bought by the Rothschilds in the 1917 Balfour Declaration.
Right.
It has not been disputed. I said Hebrew Springs, Arkansas. So Arkansas, you're very fortunate. I don't say blessed because actually that is language is full of spells, and blessed means be less used. But we're very, yep, sure
just
enough.
Like pray and pray. Yeah,
that's casting space.
Amen.
One of my followers is really religious, and I can't get over Q people that tells you, everything we've been taught as far as religion's not. But she said, I will be praying Jesus is Lord. Well, what that is, if you do your research, what she's saying is, I'll be casting a spell on you. Hail Zeus is Baal, because Lord means Baal. Jesus is from Hail Zeus. Jay was actually introduced, I believe, by the Khazarian Mafia, which are the Khazars, which are from the bloodline of Cain from the area of Ukraine. And it goes back, they're reptilian. And that's what bothers me, is because I guess from my research, that I would be called a hybrid, because I've got that blood being from the Illuminati background. And, the thing is, if that incident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here. But it also answered a lot of my questions why I've had so many problems, because people who are product, I'll go ahead and say the word of a rape, have a lot of emotional and mental issues. But yeah, that's where all this stuff comes from. And Arkansas, if you just Mississippi does 9 over in Egypt only has 2. So you go out on the record to 35 alive and 35, and if you will put together the numbers, 35, Trump's 45, now he's 47, but 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 7. And you can work a lot of those numbers out to Trump is the 19th president of the restored republic. You can work them, and it all showing that the 35 is still alive, and I'll stick with that until it's proven different.
Teresa just brought up a very interesting point that all the reverse speech and all these pastors, especially these big name ones, is all evil. If you listen to the reverse speech.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of them are even involved in the child trafficking.
Oh, yeah. Well, Billy Graham, you can look at his family. They don't look human, especially when they're younger. And look at his 2 daughters. Do they really look female? And I know there's big women, big feet. My mom was. It don't have nothing to do with that. And if you look at Joel Osteen's wife, if you'll look, you look at all the people I used to follow, Kenneth Copeland. If you don't see a demon in him, something's wrong with you. You got Jesse DuPlantis, you got John Hagee, and you can find multiple, all of them. Even John Hagee, I probably sent $10,000-$20,000 to him before I truly woke up. But you got him several doing this, and they're involved in the children overseas. And he's big with Netanyahu, which is Khazarian mafia. He knows about that, and they've got a child organization. But just watch this. Just watch them go to their men in the field that's supposed to be helping these children. For one thing, they take in billions of dollars, and you tell me all they're doing is digging these poor people wells, and they're feeding them food boxes. A lot of that cases, they're not taking care of those people. And a lot of those cases are paid actors. These others, if you they'll be same paper with Hughes and they's 9 years old, and he run that 20.
Yeah.
Didn't
you're breaking up. You're breaking up. Yeah, but you're the last couple of sentences that I'm still here. The last few sentences that you were talking were totally interfered with.
Okay. Well, I guess they're not wanting me to tell the truth, but watch these people in the fields with when they go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Talk slow.
But watch their symbolism. When they go to the fields, and they'll say, like, if the pastor's John, well, Pastor John, and they'll do the one-eye God, or Pastor John. They're telling you, and I guarantee you what they're doing with those children ain't good. And the Red Cross is involved, the United Way.
All of them. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Hey, how do you know? You people with funeral homes, now, you can do your research. Funeral homes have been making people into diamonds for years if people didn't want to be cremated or buried. So that's a fact. They can do it through some kind of process using a furnace. Trump said to Netanyahu, we want our diamonds back. There's no diamond mines in Israel, but yet they're the leading producer of diamonds. He was talking about the kids, and it just goes beyond what people can even fathom how evil these people are. But they're from the bloodline of Cain. And it's just all he said about the references to the cats and dogs and everything else. Everybody can figure out. It just goes beyond what human mind can itself around. And it goes beyond this. It's easy to comprehend, but it's hard to because of the pride.
Yeah, the Red Cross too, somebody just mentions, and that's true. And Priscilla is saying, I believe JFK Jr., Sr. and Jr. are alive. I was traumatized by the assassination. So was I. I'll never forget it. I was in school at the time, and the teacher came in crying and saying that the president was just shot. I just remember that. It almost makes me get misty-eyed just thinking about it. But anyway, it's we have we are finding out so much, and those of us who are already awake have a duty to help the others when they get more of the truth, because it's just we're breaking the bonds of mental slavery, and the only way people can survive in this is to stay grounded in love and supporting each other, working with each other, going out in nature, meditating or sitting quietly. Sometimes I don't like to say meditation because I've had so many people say, I can't meditate. I can't meditate. Well, all you have to do is sit in silence and try to shut down your mind, because like Wide Awake said, that's when you get answers, is when you're silent and in silence. And
Did you
nature
know
helps
that?
a lot too. Go ahead.
Do you realize that daydreaming is meditation, but you don't realize you're doing it? I don't know how many times, looking back now that I know about manifesting, that I've daydreamed about certain things. I always daydreamed about having a 5-acre beagle dog pen where I could run my dogs and just let them go. And just a few years later, my farm gave me the money, and I had a 5-acre beagle that I still had to the soul pen today. So people can, and when you daydream, you're acting or manifesting, and you don't realize.
You know what? I think they're breaking you up a lot right now. And sometimes we can't even understand what you said. So I don't know. I think we might have to call it a wrap here pretty soon. We're already at
Okay,
an hour and 21 minutes. So
that's fine. Yeah,
maybe there's
we can do this.
we can do it
We can
another
do this
time.
some
Yeah,
other
this has been
time.
very interesting. Hang on one second. I want to read this one. You don't pay. What? Wide Awake is on I want to see what she says. It says funeral homes came on the scene because of you bury a loved one on your property. You don't pay property taxes, and the loved one can't be moved. Oh my God! Yes, it's always about money, isn't it? No matter what,
Yeah.
it's always
Well,
about the money.
can you hear me right now? Can you hear me
Yeah, talk
now?
slowly. Talk slowly. It helps.
Yeah, guys, I want to apologize. Well, I don't want to apologize. I can't help it. But the reason I talk too fast, and a lot of times I still stutter, is because of the head injury. I told her I would try to watch it, but sometimes it's hard. But she brought up funeral homes. Think about this. Do you know where that blood goes when they're bombed? Have you ever took your members' clothes off and see if their organs are still there? It goes deeper than that. These funeral homes are not all, but they're involved in all that. Where does the blood go? Where does the organs go? If you cremate a body, do you know that's your loved one's body? So think about it. That's just something to think about.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And then some of the things that they've been pulling out of the people, out of their veins and stuff, because they can't put the embalming fluid in because of the things that are growing inside of them from the shots. Well, I tell you what, Mitchell, maybe we can do this again.
Okay.
I don't know why you're breaking up more. You were fine right from the beginning, no breaking up or anything, but here lately, probably because of the information you're sharing, it's breaking up more. I don't know. There's some storms out there too, so maybe it's something else, but I don't know.
Well, I'm on TikTok, and you and follow me, and hopefully we can make this a regular deal. I enjoyed it, and I told my friends doing it, I said, far past caring what people think about me. I said, if you think I'm nervous about this interview, I got some oceanfront property in Quitman, Arkansas to sell you.
All righty then. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for sharing the knowledge that you shared with us. And we can probably do this again sometime.
So, okay, I'm gonna drive over there to West Arkansas one day and have dinner with y'all.
That would be awesome. So you take care.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stay in the light, everyone. Stay in the light and ground yourself in nature if you have the ability to do that, or sit in quiet and meditate. And we'll see you soon again. Thank you so much for listening.
our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors.